Hi. So it's the full moon, and y'all will not even believe what has happened to me so far. But it's a Gemini full moon. What does this mean? Gemini is ruled by the planet Mercury. Mercury is a neutral planet, a planet that rules the cognitive functions that are speaking, thinking, and communicating. That whole process of bringing a thought into formation in response or reaction to an external world, and then choosing through our dialogue and spoken word within the context to then translate that out to the recipient in a way that is almost a medium of exchange. So that's why Mercury rules commerce, because commerce is a very neutral thing. Actually, I think it gets a little diluted with this whole idea of money, and we go into our unconscious blocks about that. Otherwise, commerce is neutral, right? It's just an exchange occurring, and the number one way we exchange goods, services, and items is through communicating. I have this to sell. I would like to buy this from you. Can I trade you this service for this service? Okay, so it's a very neutral planet. When it's in the moon, naturally ruled by Cancer, emotions and thoughts almost become overlapped or blurred. It's as if what you're thinking is what you're feeling, and what you're feeling becomes an instant thought. Right now the sun is in Sagittarius, Mercury is in Sagittarius, a little bit farther down the way, 25 degrees, where the sun is 5 degrees. We have Venus in Libra, Mars in Sag conjunct the sun, so there might be a lot of energy going on here today. Jupiter is still in Taurus, retrograding. Thank God Saturn has gone direct. Thank God Pluto and Saturn are finally direct. Soon enough, Uranus and Neptune and Jupiter will be too. I believe Jupiter at the end of December or beginning of January. So that will be super helpful with our manifestations, with our dreams, with our goals, and with using this Saturn energy towards our work and our purpose, expanding into that. Currently, let's talk about why Gemini full moon is a great, amazing time to write, to learn, to be a student, to sit down and read a book. Well, first of all, we know it's ruled by Mercury, but what more is, like I said, what you're thinking is what you're going to become feeling. So when you are in the seat of consciousness and on this spiritual awakening, spiritual ascension journey, or spiritual embodiment journey, right? That ascension and descension cycle are naturally balanced, so you're in harmony, right? That's another, before we segue too much, that is another huge theme that we'll be getting into, is the value of duality, the value of both and, right? A lot of people want to say it's just this way, it's just that way. Gemini doesn't work like that. Sagittarius similarly, that's why it's a centaur, it's a horse and a human. There's a lot of duality bridging to become that becomes one mystical and or advanced or evolved form or entity. So that's happening right now for many of us that are choosing to do this mental cognitive work, because first of all, it takes a certain amount of curiosity. This is a really curious sign to go into the mind and say, why am I thinking this? What does it mean that I'm thinking this? What are the results that I get in my reality by thinking this? If I continue to think things in this way, what has that led me to? Have I noticed if I think a little different, sometimes I get better results? Whatever the thought patterns are being highlighted in the form of maybe emotional down spiral, right? It's still the moon here that we're working with. So I do like that the energy is, the moon is trining the Venus in Libra, well, loosely trining, but I think there's a lot of love in the air, and there's a lot of potential to bring love to the mind. It's a little bit easier right now with the sun and Mars, both in Sagittarius, with a nice conjunction today as well. There's a lot of energy, and for the next few days, it will be probably throughout the week, you'll feel this conjunction of, there's a lot of energy towards your passion, towards what drives you, And maybe new philosophies come about by you taking the time to look at these highlighted. Okay, sorry, it cut me off. My point is, thoughts can carry. Thoughts can carry from the week before, from the month before, from the year before, from the decade before. Thoughts are really repetitive. And one of the things that you can do that I've been doing is take control of your mind. This is mind mastery energy. Not necessarily to an Aquarian level. This is an Aquarius energy of mind mastery. This is more about the daily repetitive thoughts that we run through the filler moments of our day. When we're cooking, when we're trying to read, when we're tinkering with something, when we're on the phone with a friend and we start backpedaling on something. Sometimes it's those little micro moments that can completely change our mood or shift our consciousness, our energy, for better or for worse. Here are 3 journal prompts or self-inquiry questions that you can ask yourself to elevate your self-awareness, therefore elevate your vibration through bringing light to the unconscious. That is one of the number 1 reasons why we use astrology, and we constantly and consistently bring it into our practice of daily thought and self-awareness practices. Number 1 thing that you can bring your attention to is, or bring a question to your mind, is, what am I thinking now? What am I thinking now? It's almost a profound question, because it's not asking you necessarily what you're believing, your worries, your troubles. Is what are you thinking right now in this moment? You can bring this into a journal prompt and just take a deep breath and go off writing, close your eyes, go off writing, see what happens, do an automatic writing practice, or you can just ask that yourself that now. Just realize this with no judgment at all. The number 2 thing you can ask yourself is, does this thought benefit me and others, or others around me? Why or why not? This is more of a journaling prompt. This is something you more likely would want to sit down and ask yourself. Number 3, what's a new or more evolved, or even a better word would be refined, thought to what I'm thinking? So maybe you're thinking about, you're going through a divorce. You're thinking, oh my god, I have to hire a lawyer, I have to make calls, like I've ruined I'm not made up for marriage. You start spiraling, and that's what you're thinking. So maybe a better thought is, I'm healing right now. Things take time. I will find a lawyer. I will find someone to help me at a really good, affordable price. And I'm choosing to be patient with myself as I heal and deal with all the legal and very, very complicated paperwork and things, right? It's changing your languaging and changing the framework of how, the lens of how you choose to think and speak about a situation to yourself. Okay? So what's a more evolved thought? What's a more refined thought than this? You could even be thinking like, oh, I like this song. Maybe you're already thinking of overall more positively polarized thought. Maybe it could be like, why do you like this song? I like this song because it has a beautiful rhythm. I love the melody. The singer's passion is so there for me. And just expressing those things to yourself and thinking those things for yourself, it really does elevate your mind and bring more to the conversation, to the table when you are in moments where you can freely express. Learning to freely express within yourself and to yourself is part of learning to express and speak that to others, especially when it comes to emotions. So those are 3 questions you can ask yourself. This full moon, like I said at the beginning, great for writing, great for speaking. That's why I was inspired to make this YouTube video, as I just felt like I need to speak right now. I need to speak from my heart, and one of the ways I do that is on this channel and on my social medias, showing and teaching people things that I feel so near and dear to my heart. And this is one of those things. It's the moon time. It's the moon phases. It's the time to be sensitive with ourselves and to follow this nice natural cycle. So I hope you enjoyed this moon time. I hope you tap some grace with yourself. And I hope you take the time to assess and sit with the mind and come into a more neutral and balanced place from within. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and tell me what you're doing for the full moon. By the way, my name is Sofia. I'm an astrologist of almost 10 years now. I've been in this study. I'm a yoga teacher, a tantra devotee, and a believer in magic and miracles. I hope that you can come and be on this journey with me, enjoy the ride, and learn something with me as well. Thank you.